85 years. How can I put this out? You never think that the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade would be 85 years old. Well, 2011 will show you, with Amy Kuehl now on her own and head designer John Piper to make sure that this year will be great. Not to mention that Macy's had gotten a brand new parade studio. After many years at Hoboken, New Jersey, they now went a bit up north to Moonachie, New Jersey, which has more space, higher ceilings, and it's their building as of today. For the television broadcast on NBC, two things occurred. One was an 85th anniversary special that featured interviews of celebrities that had performed and former hosts of the event, and showing highlights from many years in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, etc., including this year. This was also the first and only year that Ann Curry, who was the new main co-anchor on the Today Show, only hosted this year's parade and would leave in 2012 for obvious reasons, and also racial discrimination that she had while working there. For the 85th parade, many highlights did occur, including former executive producers Gene McFadden and Robin Hall appearing on a float with past Macy's Parade balloon characters. Mr. Peanut introduces his new Nutmobile. Sonic the Hedgehog makes his return to the parade since 1997 as an all-new balloon, and even two special balloons were made. One was a character named B-Boy by artist and filmmaker Tim Burton as he joined in Macy's Blue Sky Gallery, which I forgot to highlight that it started in 2005 when I did that ranking video. And the other was a contest which was called Macy's All-American Design Elf Balloon, and the winner was a man named Keith Lappening. Not only he won, but also filmed, now what's called vlogging, his experience being at Macy's Parade Studio on press day, the night before with the inflation, and the day of the parade. He even got to sit next to Tim Burton's partner at the time, Helena Bonham Carter, all of which you can check out on his YouTube channel. There was a high wind threat, and it looked like it was lower than expected, so the balloons managed to fly a little higher, but not too high. And finally, you take 85 minus 60, and you got 25 songs with some unforgettable moments with some well-known faces. This is my ranking of the songs of the 2011 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Number 25. Bouncing Off the Walls, SpiderMan, and A Freak Like Me Needs Company by the cast of Broadway's SpiderMan, Turn Off the Dark. In the summer, the famous web-slinging superhero from Marvel comes to Broadway with music and lyrics by U2's Bono and The Edge, with, if I'm correct, the first superhero Broadway musical, SpiderMan, Turn Off the Dark, as the cast does a medley of the show's three numbers, Bouncing Off the Walls from Act 1, performed by Peter Parker, from Act 2, SpiderMan, performed by The Company, and A Freak Like Me Needs Company, performed by the Green Goblin. Oh my gosh! These songs were not so good. If you have seen the reviews on the show, these songs kind of suck. Mostly because of how bad the tones and some of the lyrics are. I say SpiderMan is kind of the worst out of the three, followed by Bouncing Off the Walls and then A Freak Like Me Needs Company. Which is kind of not surprising that you can't get this cast recording album on iTunes, Apple, or Spotify, but you can get it on SoundCloud, or should I just say just two, because the SpiderMan number is not in the album at all. The parade had an audio difference and how the setting of these numbers are. They're not that great. Heck, even the costumes and the makeup on the Green Goblin is basically you take the Grinch but give him much more detail, which is kind of coincidence that the actor who played the Green Goblin was the Broadway Grinch back in the 2006 parade, Patrick Page. Not only it's notable for being one of the worst Broadway musicals ever, but also holds the title as being one of the most dangerous musicals ever. And you can tell why you should never make a stage musical based on superheroes. Number 24. Unstoppable from Ant Farm by China Anne McClain. Kind of similar to the 2006 parade, two Disney Channel stars performed this year over Nickelodeon when they only just had one this year. And the first to appear was the star of Ant Farm, China Anne McClain, who performs one of the songs she wrote on the show that becomes track number 4 of the show's soundtrack album, Unstoppable. I am really not a fan of the song. It's just kind of bland, probably because of that Disney Channel era that I wasn't big on, because comparing to the shows of the late 2000s, since I didn't even watch Ant Farm when I was a kid, or should I say around 11. The parade was better, and honestly, I would have preferred her to have her do her cover of Taio Cruz's Dynamite instead. Number 23, You Make Me Feel by Cobra Starship. On their fourth and final album before their disbandment, dance rock band Cobra Starship performs one of their and probably most memorable song, because I heard this on the radio around this time, You Make Me Feel from Nightshades, as track number 2 and got a single release. Despite some favorable reviews from the album, the song was very mixed, and I kinda agree. The main verse, especially with the na 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 na, is really annoying. And after 2 minutes, I kept thinking the song is about to end. And still to this day, I kept thinking of it when I was listening to it, but it's not. Other verses from the song are great from the lead vocals of the group, Gabe Saporta, but for the parade, there is a bit of a catch. Since the song did have a feature artist, of course you can't be able to get them to do the song with the main artist, which in this case was Sabai, or Saabi, I don't know how to pronounce it. Instead, the female member of the group, Victoria Asher, took the part, and I thought she was lip-syncing to Sabi's audio, but nope, it's her voice. Number 22, No Place Like Here from Zuzu Pets, Quest for Zoo by Savannah Outen. A direct-to-DVD animated movie was released that was based on the Zuzu Pets toy line with Quest for Zoo, and the soundtrack from the movie came out in November, including the song No Place Like Here. That was track number 3, but the one we're looking at is the credit version, I believe, by YouTube singer Savannah Outen, which is track number 13, and got a single release by her, and joining with her in the parade is Camp Broadway. So this pop version of the song is weird in a connection with the Zuzu Pets movie. I just don't know how the song works in context of that film, but I can say it does have great music with Savannah's voice. It's kind of giving me vibes of Kay Hanley's Caring Changes the World from Care Bears Oopsie Does It in the 2007 parade. It's just maybe the parade could have been better. I would have taken out Camp Broadway and almost think she's doing this live, because you can hear breathing noises, but in reality it is a different audio recording because she takes her mic out and you could still hear her voice as the float moves when Matt Lauer was talking. Number 21, Dig Down Deeper from Pixie Hollow Games by Zendaya. The other Disney Channel star that takes on this time on the Build-A-Bear Workshop float over Nickelodeon with backup dancers is one of the stars of Shake It Up, now an A-list celebrity from a young age demographic thanks to SpiderMan in the MCU and the series Euphoria, Zendaya Coleman. Oh wait, she is called Zendaya, as said by the new announcer of the parade from this year onwards, Today Show announcer Lee Marshall, Ann Curry, and Matt Lauer in the 85th anniversary special, as she performs Dig Down Deeper from the direct-to-DVD Tinkerbell movie, Pixie Hollow Games, which ended up being track number 3 in the soundtrack Disney's Fairies, Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust. Looking back on where she used to be a singer and a dancer, she definitely had the talent of dancing. I mean, the choreography in the parade was spot on. I even like her dark emerald coat. It looks great on her. Although the song itself, I'm not a big fan of. And like Ant Farm, I didn't watch Shake It Up as a kid, although the song is from a Tinkerbell movie, but it does have better lyrics, especially with the good use of it in the parade. And despite some of the songs that are available from the soundtrack, this song you can't get digitally, not even on Apple or Spotify. At least I'll say where she is now, she is one of the few celebs that managed to find a way to escape the Disney Channel curse. Number 20. Jolly Dream Pirates, dun dun, by Michael Feinstein. Here's a face we all know. Michael Feinstein returns for his 5th and most recent parade as of to date, joins with a bunch of female puppet pirates debuting the song Jolly Dream Pirates. Yo ho! I don't think this is a fun song about pirates, and kind of an interesting song for Michael to perform by comparing to his performances in the 2000s and in 1992. It is kind of like he's joining in with the female pirates, although the ladies have too much lipstick. Although it does have a catchy title, it doesn't have memorable lyrics, though, when you try to think of this song outside of the parade, so I will surrender my dreams. Number 19, America the Beautiful by the United States Naval Academy Glee Club. 2011 marked the 125th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty, and like what Renee Fleming did 5 years ago, the men and women in uniform that are members of the United States Naval Academy Glee Club do a rendition in honor of the lady with America the Beautiful. First, I do want to thank these men and women for their services. And they did do a great rendition of this patriotic song with the tone of their voices. They did bring a moment to honor the lady's 125th birthday. But since we already had done this 5 years ago, as I just mentioned, they should have done another patriotic song that hasn't been in the parade yet or for a while. It would have been higher on this list, and like what it did 5 years ago, the torch that did spark up flames. And I did think this was the last time it would ever happen in the parade's history. Let me know if I'm wrong. Number 18, Won't You Join Our Parade by Stagedoor Manor. In honor to start the coverage of the parade's 85th anniversary, a brand new song was made to open the event after the ribbon cutting, as Stagedoor Manor, for their third appearance, starts at Herald Square's pre-parade party with Won't You Join Our Parade, led by Grandma the Clown of Big Apple Circus. I don't know if it's just me, or the opening feels like I'm actually in a college pep rally, because I don't think these kids at the time were college-age students yet. Not to mention, as this was the first act, of course, I didn't remember as much because I obviously didn't record the pre-parade acts on VHS, which was probably in a good way because of Turn Off the Dark song choices. This is the weakest one out of the 4 years that Stagedoor Manor has performed. I mean, some of the lyrics were great, but I think I should have had this performed to welcome the parade at Herald Square instead of Macy's Great American Marching Band. But it is a better anniversary song than Give Me a Drum 5 years before. Number 17, Spread the Love Around by the cast of Broadway's Sister Act. Based on the 1992 classic movie starring Whoopi Goldberg, a stage musical of Sister Act, after some U.S. performances and in the West End, finally got the green lit to come to Broadway in 2011, as the cast performs the final number, Spread the Love Around. Oh my, this is one catchy number here. It did make me want to go to church just to see this choir. I mean, everything was well choreographed, the costumes were great, and it's just all around fun with some of the lyrics. Only catch is that although there is a West End recording which does include the original West End and Broadway star, Patina Miller, there is no cast recording album of the Broadway version, which is a shame because the Broadway version got better reviews than the original West End version. Number 16, Boogie Woogie Boogle Boy by United We Sing. Three ladies named Josette de Ambrosi, Jenna Griffith, and Linnell Johnson met as members of the U.S. Metropolitan of New York. The trio formed together as United We Sing, joined by the students of Cap 21 dressed like school students with mandatory wardrobes, dances to the ladies' rendition of the World War II Andrew Sister song, Boogie Woogie Boogle Boy. After reviewing this song and preparing what I was going to rank here, I put this a little higher than you think I would. Now, the actual song is only a minute and a half. NBC did kind of forgot a little bit at the beginning of the performance if you have seen the footage of the full performance by spectators at Herald Square for Cap 21. These young ladies' rendition was so good, but the choreography by Cap 21 have some moves that I wouldn't probably do nowadays. The main reason is a little higher is because you can't get this rendition digitally, not through any music platforms, but their official website as a free download, which was a massive surprise when I was doing my research for this trio. By the way, the one lady in the center, Linnell, I've been thinking about this when I was 11. Is it just me, or does she look a lot like Cameron Diaz? Number 15, Ain't Nothing Like Christmas by Shelby Lynne. Last year, country singer Shelby Lynne released her first holiday album, Merry Christmas, along with many cover classics. She also wrote 2 songs in the album, and the one she performs is track number 2, Ain't Nothing Like Christmas. The Christmas part of the parade has officially begun with her unique performance. I thought this was a pre-existing song, but nope, this is an original song she wrote. Shout out to her on writing a song that does bring us a lot of the beginning of a Christmas party, and a great use of it for the parade. I mean, even the adults dressed as the Dapper swaying with their hands side to side love it as well. Number 14, 25/8 by Mary J. Blige. Mary Jane Blige released a sequel album to her 1994 breakthrough album, My Life, with My Life 2, The Journey Continues, Act 1. And the first song from the album to get a single release before the album's release would later become track number 6, 25/8. From the North to the South Pole, which forms positives to mixed reviews, as the album was positive, but 25/8 was mixed. I can see why, because interesting concept for adding another hour in a day, but since this is a little long, tells me I would stick with 24/7. Although it does have some good lyrics for the parade, a catchy main verse, and I like the hip-hop beat for her R&B song, if you know what I'm talking about. Number 13, Blood Brothers by Ingrid Michaelson. New York City native independent singer-songwriter Ingrid Michaelson performs a new song called Blood Brothers from her upcoming 4th studio album, Human Again, as track number 5, and later got a single release. The song itself, I think, does have some great lyrics, and a little shout out to the clever music video, by the way, just a little mention right there. But I felt like for the parade, it did kind of had any hype with me to sing along to the song. It was almost complete if Aint did not start talking about the Harold the Fireman balloon, because you can hear the audio ending of the song within her performance. But with her having the creative freedom as an indie pop artist, I can appreciate her and this song, and it is odd she was not mentioned as a guest list in the intro of the parade's broadcast. Number 12, King of New York by the cast of Broadway's Newsies. Another musical based on a 1992 movie here, and ironically enough, Alan Menken not also wrote the music for this show and the original film, but also wrote the music for the musical of Sister Act. Well, he, lyricist Jack Feldman, and Harvey Fierstein adapted the 1992 Disney film by Kenny Ortega, Newsies, getting ready for its opening in March 2012. So for the parade, we got a preview performance of the opening number of Act 2, King of New York. Now, I have been saying throughout most of the series when it comes to some of these Broadway parade performances, I think, there are some numbers that have way too much dance breaks, but for Newsies, it works, mainly because the tap dancing is something you don't usually see in these performances, in the parade specifically, and King of New York shows it. It is a really great song to have the supporting characters and the attractive character Kathleen Plummer to shine, and their accents were perfect for their performance. The only thing is, I would have chosen Carrying the Banner, the number that would actually performed in the 2012 Disney Parks Christmas Day Parade. But hey, at least it's still a great song choice here for the Macy's Parade. Number 11, Deck the Halls by Mannheim Steamroller. Oh no, not again. Another song by the same artist we just did, and again for the second year in a row. Mannheim Steamroller once again performs their first Christmas rendition of their first album, Christmas, as track number 1 with Deck the Halls to end the celebrity roster for the 85th parade. However, instead, accompanying them are a group of tap dancing elves from the David Me Marie's dance studio. I will give it this, at least the sound of the instruments are different, and the tap dancing was great, but if it was the same audio like we heard last year, I will be honest, I think it probably would have been more of a highlight. Well, at least the violin does play at the right moments, unlike last year. Number 10, Here We Go by the Fresh Beat Band. In 2009, Nickelodeon added a brand new live-action show to their Nick Jr. block about a young band that combines 4 people named Kiki, played by Yavik Gonzalez-Nasser, Shout, played by Thomas Hobson, Marina from Season 3, played by Tara Perry, and Twist, played by John Beavers, known as the Fresh Beat Band. They wouldn't get a soundtrack to the show until 2012, but they had single releases. One of their singles, which would later be track number 2 in the soundtrack, Here We Go, which first appeared in the Season 3 premiere episode, Graduation Day. It also appeared in 5 other episodes, the last one being their crossover episode with Yo Gabba Gabba. This is a very quick song, close about 2 minutes, and being short is kind of a problem with me, but it does give us all 4 members a highlight of each of their performance, where Kiki takes most of the spotlight with the main verse of the song and the uh-oh part. Only question is, if they were on the Dora's Christmas Carol Adventure float, why they didn't do a Christmas song, or from Dora's special as a parade exclusive? Well, they never actually did have a Christmas special in their main series, to be precise. There was one in their animated spy spin-off series that didn't last that long. Number 9. The Trouble with Girls by Scotty McCreery. The last time that American Idol would have any involvement in the Macy's parade was this year, as the 10th winner, country singer Scotty McCreery, after he won, made his debut album with Clear as a Day and performs track number 4 as one of his first singles, The Trouble with Girls. Both the album and the song have gained mixed reviews by critics, but I do really feel the calmness of the song. In fact, this song kind of does have a connection to me. Not with girls, but with the music video, because of the setting of the school, the sunset, and the baseball field. Felt to me I should be going to sporting events at the school, and this actually what happened. I saw that video, and that just made me, and after seeing many posts of my friends on social media, that's when in my freshman year, thanks to this video of that song, I decided to go to my first high school football game in 2014. The parade, I can see where some critics are mixed with it, mainly because I wish there was more of the song, although I do like it that this was a good song choice to go with into a commercial, but we all know what's pretty infamous about this one. Scotty failed to start lip syncing to his song, which did give us a highlight for some people, but don't worry, somebody else would top him over here soon, in the next few years. Number 8. I Love the Nightlife and I Will Survive by the cast of Broadway's Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Based on the 1994 road movie, The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, it was turned into a jukebox musical, as the cast performs 2 70s hits, Alicia Brown's I Love the Nightlife and Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive, which, yes, we heard that song 2 years ago, but this is different artists, or should I say, a Broadway cast. First up, yes, for those who don't know, Priscilla's subject does have some characters either as drag queens or a trans woman for one of the main characters, which is nice to see that NBC and Macy's had a little bit of same-sex and drag musicals to perform here, just 4 years before same-sex was finally legalized in the entire country. Each of these renditions of these songs into musical numbers are definitely good, although questioning of the woman who was singing in the opening of I Love the Nightlife. Then again, the setting does take place in Australia. And as much as I will still go with Gloria's 50th re-recording 2 years of I Will Survive 2 years ago, I do think this musical did do a better job with the song in the parade, which they should have just done that instead of 2, because only they did like 45 seconds of I Love the Nightlife. But it does know how to highlight numbers unlike SpiderMan. Number 7. Wish You Were Here by Avril Lavigne. Canadian pop-punk rock singer Avril Lavigne begins the celeb roster in the parade, and so far the latest artist to perform on the Tom Turkey float with her single hit Wish You Were Here from her 4th album Goodbye Lullaby as track number 4. The album was mixed by critics, while divisiveness on this song. And I can agree because it does have some good moments in the song, but it is a little long, not to mention the 4-letter word, and damn, it's also in the song. Not a criticism on the language, by the way. Which is why in the parade the S word was muted with her away from the mic, and she said yeah instead of damn. And because of that, the audio is different, but I'm surprised some of the rock instruments are missing in that performance. But she does look nice even with her iconic makeup for this event. Number 6. Take a Back Road by Rodney Atkins. If you have tough times on busy traffic, especially on the highway, the best thing to remember is not to be impatient and turn on the radio, as this song, Take a Back Road, becomes the title song for country superstar Rodney Atkins' 4th album, and the song being track number 1 that got a single release before the album came out. Whenever me and my family would travel to see families, we mostly sometimes take back roads to avoid busy highways, unless if they're not as busy. And I never think of this song, but it tells us why it is kind of a good way to do so, with the great use of lyrics and music for the song. I just wish the parade only added the first verse of the song and finished it to consider it a performance. When was the last time I considered a performance to be unfinished? Number 5, Fool for You by CeeLo Green. Thomas Calloway Burton, well known as CeeLo Green, had a big start in 2010 with his highly acclaimed third album, The Lady Killer, including his hit Forget You. In 2011, two elements came in with his career. One was that he was a coach on the new NBC reality competition show The Voice, and the second was a third song from his album that got a single release, which is track number 10, that even won the Grammys for Best Traditional R&B Performance and Best R&B Song, Fool for You. There are two different versions of the song, one in the album that features Philip Bailey as a backing vocal, and the single that features Melaine Fiona. And of course, songs that have feature artists, you won't be able to get them both in the parade. So it's mainly the album version if you're going by the parade. Which the parade version is only the first 90 seconds of the song. Maybe it should have been a little longer. However, it does have that catchiness when it comes to the verse and kind of want to sing along to. Number 4. Meet Me on Sesame Street by the cast of Sesame Street. Come on, everybody, come on, get on your feet. As Sesame Street gets the drums, the horns, and a little tambourine to make such a rotten song, according to Oscar, with Meet Me on Sesame Street, which is the theme song to Sesame Place's neighborhood street party parade, but with the different lyrics for the parade to get more of the music feeling. Now, the one at Sesame Place is like the Sesame Street live songs, where it does almost feels like the human cast are missing, which is understandable. But we do get that for the parade, and hearing the real cast singing it, and the music going faster to get that parade beat, and a great timing for the song. Also getting some highlights here of having Oscar speak since 2006, Alan taking the lead of the song, Cookie Monster getting to be on Big Bird's Nest, and Abby, Kadabi, and Zoe and Murray being together. Number 3. Brotherhood of Men by the cast of Broadway's How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, featuring Daniel Radcliffe and John Larroquette. After 10 years of being the famous Wizard of Hogwarts in the movie industry, with the last Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, being released this past summer, Daniel Radcliffe decided to return to Broadway to star in his first musical with the third revival of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, which celebrated its 50th anniversary. Joining with television star John Larroquette on his Broadway debut, and actually winning a Tony, performs the second to last number, Brotherhood of Men, which the second revival with Matthew Broderick did perform this back in the 1995 parade. The choreography has to be the highlight of this revival, as the 95 revival did more of the singing. Radcliffe's voice is fine, it's just the American accent seems odd, but this was his first musical, and he's going to be in one very soon with the Broadway revival of Merrily We Go Around. Larroquette barely had to do anything with this number, so if they wanted to highlight the two, I would have chosen Grand Old Ivy, despite that I do sing along to Brotherhood of Men more so. I kind of danced the choreography even of both the 95 version and this one, which makes this 50-year-old song the best Broadway song of 2011. Number 2. This Christmas by Straight No Chaser. In 1996, a group of men at the Indiana University formed an a cappella group called Straight No Chaser, and were famous for their Christmas renditions, including a comedic rendition of the 12 Days of Christmas. In fact, a live video performance by them in 1998 went viral on YouTube in 2007, which led the group, including later some new members, to reband themselves in 2008 after many years of a disbandment, and got their first studio album with Holiday Spirits by performing their rendition of This Christmas as track number 4. These 10 men show that sometimes some of their songs cannot be just funny, but can be more calmer, and this one does. Which is why this is my favorite rendition of this song. And like many others, I always think of this group's version when I hear This Christmas being played on the radio. I have to mainly highlight the lead vocals of the group who performed this song, because he definitely gives us a great spirit to the song. I also loved in the parade the kids' ice skaters at the bottom of the Delta Airlines float to show us it feels like the group is in the background when we just see these two skating. Only catches, despite a great 3-minute length song, I felt they should have chosen a better portions of the song that we heard in the parade. And my number 1 song from the 2011 Macy's parade is America by Neil Diamond. Now here's a classic. Despite of it being from a bad movie, which was from the 1980 remake of The Jazz Singer that was directed by Richard Fleischer and starring the singer-songwriter Neil Diamond, which both he and Sir Laurence Olivier won Razzie Awards for Worst Actor and Worst Supporting Actor. Despite it being one of the worst movie remakes of all time, one song from the movie that did make its impact, even out of context with the movie, the first song of the soundtrack, and I think in the movie, that even got a single release that has been performed by many America events, including the 85th Macy's Parade, with Neil performing his classic, America. Do I need to talk about how iconic the song is? Other than Sweet Caroline, I think this is one of Neil Diamond's iconic songs, because those two would have to be the first you think about when I mention Neil Diamond. The 4 minutes of the original version worked so well because of how great the patriotic feeling you get, and for those who would be visiting or moving here that feels like they're officially in the land of the free and the home of the brave, or what it was back then during its final years where America was still a peaceful country until the second half of the 2010 decade. Even the parade does give us a great performance and a good use of the song, although I wish the camera should have more to show to the audience if they were singing along to his song, or even the ones on the South Dakota float. And of course, it was a re-recording here for this event, because you can't copy the same audio that was released a single 30 years ago. But it does mark this the best song of the 2011 parade. Thank you guys for watching. I first want to apologize if you hear fan noises in the background. It is a ridiculously hot summer's day, July 29, 2023. So I do apologize for that, but I do not want to sweat here. So if you're new to the channel, you can hit that subscribe button. Comment down below your personal ranking of these 25 songs. I will stay here right now that this series will go on a little bit of a break on my channel here because I want to finish the type of content that I've been doing just quick and easy, but other things as well. And once we return back, we are greeted to the year of 2012.